Hello, in this video we are going to get our main window set up to do our system of equations calculator. I've done a couple things before we start this video. So the first thing I did was I imported from tkinter all the functions, because that is where all the code is located that allows us to kind of do this easy GUI work. And I've put a section of the code here called functions. And this is where I'm going to write my functions shortly. We're just going to get our function put in. It won't do anything yet. And then down here is where I'm going to kind of get my window all constructed, ready to go. So the first thing we do is we create a main window using the constructor called tk. And then I always go root.mainLoop. And that just loops the program. So now what that means is the program will kind of fire up and kind of sit and wait for you to do something. So if I run that, oh, pardon me, that's one I was running before. If I run this, there it is. Pretty basic, because it doesn't have anything yet. We're going to do a couple things with this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to give this a title. So I'm going to say root.title. So this widget has a function called title, and I can pass to that a parameter, and that indicates the name. So I can go system of equations calculator. And now if I give this a run, there it is. You can't see it all, but it's there. If I pull this out, system of equations calculator. And then what I want to do is I want to bind a function to this window. And what I want this function to do is basically execute when the user press enters at any point. So to bind a function, we use the bind command. So root.bind, and I can pass to it this string, and this string will be known by the function to be the return button. So if you look in the documentation, you can actually bind a variety of buttons to the function, but I'm going to bind it such that when the user presses return, this function is executed. And I'm going to call my function on return. There we go. Now, you're going to get an error here, and the reason we have an error is because it's saying bind this function to this element, but I don't actually have a function yet. So I'm going to come up here and define a function on underscore return, and I have to pass a star args. So I have to pass it the star args, which means that this function can take multiple arguments. Now at this stage, we don't really have the technical vocabulary to really explain what's happening here, but it's good to know that we need star args, because when we're in this function, we're going to be accessing some of the widgets, and without that, the program doesn't know how to access what's needed. So if I come down here, all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to say print, and I'm going to put the word click. And I usually do something like this just to test. So I'm going to give this a run. There it is. And if all has gone to plan, when I press enter, I should see down here in my console the word clicked. And there we go. So in our next video, we are going to start to add some widgets to this and give it a little bit of a nicer look. I hope this helped. Have a great day.